Let us now try to decipher the sixth stanza of Bhaja Govindam. In the sixth stanza, let me not go by word to word meaning, because as I keep going ahead with this, I realize my inability to word translate Sanskrit. So let us focus more on the meaning. But yes, I would decipher those words which actually I understand. So let us go ahead. Yavat pavano nivasati dehe tavat prichhati kushalam gehe gatavati vayau dehapaye bharaya bhibhyati tasmin kaye. So what does this basically mean? Yavat pavano. Pavana means wind or prana, vayu. Vayu is the wind or the air which is there in your body. We are alive because the air is moving through the nostrils into the body and out of the body. So not just in your breathing channels, there is vayu or air in multiple parts of your body. But when you die, all that air escapes. So he's saying as long as nivasati means the air stays in your body, which means basically until you are alive, until then people will come and ask you, hey, how are you? Are you keeping fine? Like people will ask you, people want to have a relationship with you. Here he specifically talks about the wife. Gehe is the wife. So even your wife asks about you, cares for you only until you have life in the body. But gatavati means the minute it is gone, that vayau means from the body. When the wind or the air, the life is gone, deha paye, in the sense from the body, when this vayu or the life leaves, bharaya bhibhyati tasmin kaye. So your body is going to become a burden, and it is something which people are afraid of. Bibhyati is people are afraid of it. Even your own wife is afraid of it. Here it's not about wife or husband, it is the spouse or even everyone. People are afraid when they see a dead body. You obviously don't go to the dead body and ask him questions. Hey, how are you? Are you feeling fine? Because you know that the soul has departed. So what Shankaracharya is saying is, as long as you're alive, maybe people care about you. But the minute you are dead, people don't care about you. So you might question that, oh, but I'm not even expecting to be cared for because I'm dead, right? That is exactly what Shankaracharya points out. No, you are not dead. Your body is dead. Your soul has departed the body. You still are there. But is anyone asking about you? Is anyone checking on you, on your welfare? No one does. Even your own wife or spouse does not do that. So here in this stanza, Shankaracharya again talks about how futile all these equations and relationships in this world are. Is it not? Of course, like this is very deep in the sense, because as long as you associate yourself with your body and your mind, right, you think that, okay, when I am alive, people check on me, people care for me, but once I am dead, why should people do that? Right? But you don't die. That's the whole problem. In fact, this great book called Autobiography of a Maharshi, which was written by Paramahamsa Yogananda long ago, one of the most beautiful books for someone who wants to explore the spiritual path. It could be a great beginning. I had read it in my early 20s when I was really wanting to know further. Somehow stumbled upon this book. Someone gifted it to me, I guess. Beautiful book. Of course, in very excellent English. The English is little complicated because obviously those days there was a huge influence of the Britishers on us. Today, after the Britishers have left, the language has gotten diluted. We have the Indian English prevalent now. Those days, Paramahamsa Yogananda's English was excellent. In fact, I remember when I used to read that book, I had to keep a dictionary with me so that I can keep checking certain words, because there were many words being used which I was not able to understand those days. So in that also he talks about this, that when the body dies, the soul departs. But it is not just the soul that departs. Along with the soul, the mind also departs. Obviously, the dead body doesn't have a mind of its own. Yes, the brain matter is there, the dead brain matter. But even the mind departs. Even Vivekananda says this, that you come back in the new body but with the same mind. Maybe your memory is wiped out. Okay, you don't remember anything from your past birth, your memory is not there, but you come back with all those qualities. Your mind still behaves the same way. That is what in Sanskrit they call it vasana. Vasana is probably, the literal translation is smell, but it is not smell, it is quality, because smell is also a quality. So vasana is quality or condition. So your mind's condition remains the same. The mind's memory might have been wiped out. The condition at which you left your previous body, the new body gets the same conditioned mind. So your conditioned mind comes. That conditioning is only called as vasanas. So you come back again into a new body, but with the same soul and the same mind. So you don't die. The soul and the mind don't die. So technically mind itself is an illusion. But then as long as you are living with that illusion is also carried forward. Your soul will carry forward that illusionary mind also with you. So even if you read certain Hindu scriptures like Garuda Puranam, in Garuda Puranam they talk about what happens to the departed soul. In that also they say that the departed soul leaves the body. It still has a mind but doesn't have a body. So it is still you, just without the body, and you are struggling outside the body. You are unable to take the shock of your own death. You see your dead body from outside, being without a body, a soul and a mind, and is worrying constantly. It is still attached to that body. Oh, how did I leave? There were still so many tasks incomplete. I should have achieved this, that. I still have my children. My wife is crying on my dead body, my parents, my children, my family, my colleagues, my office. There are so many incomplete works still. That attachment is of the mind, not the soul. The soul is pure. The soul is unable to move on to the ultimate truth because of all this conditioned mind. Eventually what will happen? That conditioned mind needs a new body. Eventually you take rebirth. That is what is the Janma Karma concept. So at the time of death, that's why in Hinduism they say at the time of death you should take the Lord's name. But see, taking Lord's name at the time of death is almost impossible unless you have the habit of taking the Lord's name every second of your existence. You think just by praying and worshipping 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day and balance 24 hours a day you are doing all kinds of mental nonsense. You think at the time of your death your mind is going to think about the Lord's name. It's very, very difficult. For that we need sadhana, yoga, whether it is bhakti yoga, karma yoga, whether it is jnana yoga. You need to be on some path to unclutter the mind of all this mental nonsense. Recently I was reading this Ramana Maharshi's story also, where he says that things will happen the way they have to happen. They don't happen because of your efforts. Ramana Maharshi clearly points this out. People just have this illusion that, I've studied hard, so I became this. I worked hard, so I earned this wealth. He says no. What has to happen will anyway happen. Your effort is not required. The doership is not required. It is all pre-planned for you how you are going to lead your life. This unnecessary mental clutter that I am the one doing it because of which the result is coming is what is causing all this mental conditioning, which is not, letting your soul go free. Your soul has to get hooked onto a new body in the next birth because of this. So here he is clearly telling that you still exist outside the body, just that you don't have a body. At that point, who cares for you? Who talks to you? In Garuda Purana, that's what is mentioned. When the soul departs, the soul is still struggling and attached to all the earthly things. In fact, in Hinduism, the ritual after death goes on for 13 days because it is said that the soul takes 13 days of time to get over the fact that yes, I am dead. Okay, I am out of this body. Let me move on at least to a new body. It takes around 13 days time, but there are some souls who keep on lingering, and that's the reason every year there is something called Samvatsarika or Shraddha or some kind of a ritual every year. In case the soul is still here and there running around, yearly we are at least remembering it, saying that okay, move on, we still love you, okay, we are doing this ritual because we want you to be peaceful, please move on from here, find a new body. But finding the new body doesn't end the cycle. The real purpose is get rid of the body. How? By get rid of the conditioned mind. So here Shankaracharya is pointing out that until you are alive, until the wind, the pranavayu is flowing within you, people will care about you. The minute the pranavayu departs, the soul departs the body, people are afraid of the dead body. No one is going to converse with the dead body. No one is going to talk to you and inquire about your welfare, because they know that that is not you. You have gone. Your body is scary. If they keep it for 10 days without cremating it, it will start stinking. It will start decomposing the body. Even your own wife or husband, the spouse, is afraid of the dead body, and that dead body is feeling like a burden. That's why no one keeps dead bodies at homes. The minute someone dies, it is gotten rid of. The body is gotten rid of, because it is a burden, and it is also scary to look at a dead body, to go and speak to it. No one does that, because you are not that. You have left the body. So Shankaracharya again talks about the futility of our whole existence and relationships. People care for you. Yes, true love exists until I die. But what about after you die? People who are alive will move on. They will cry for a while. In fact, there are Puranas in Sanskrit which tell exactly who will cry for how much. They say that wife will cry for how many months, brothers cry for how many months, children cry for how many months, but one fellow who keeps on crying after your death is apparently your parent, according to the Shastra. Parents can never get over, apparently, from the shock of the death of a child. They will keep on crying until their death. They are never going to get over it. In fact, this story I read yesterday also in Ramana Maharshi's stories, that one devotee who is a very highly educated government officer loses a child, and it's 4 years and he is unable to get over it. And he comes to Ramana Maharshi and asks him that, will I be ever able to see my son again in the next life? Do you see the level of attachment? That he is unable to get over it. He wants to see that son again in the next life. And Ramana Maharshi says, before even you ask such questions, you should even know, what do you mean by life? What do you mean by next life? And what do you mean by Janma and Karma? Only then you are even eligible to ask this question. And the guy replies saying that, I don't care about all this. I don't want to hear this lecture. I don't want knowledge. I don't want jnana. I don't want realization. God, I just want to know whether I will be able to meet my son in the next life or not. And Ramana Maharshi suddenly gets up. He is in a relaxed position on the sofa. He suddenly gets up and holds his hand and gives a promise. You will see your son in the next life as clearly as you could see him in this life. And he is very happy and leaves. And one very close associate of Ramana Maharshi goes to Ramana Maharshi and says that, Bhagavan, why did you say this? Ramana Maharshi used to be called as Bhagavan. Bhagavan, why did you say this? How can we assure such things, that in the next life he will again be able to see his son? And Ramana Maharshi says, we cannot assure. Then why did you promise that? Because if I don't say these words, he will lose all hope in life. And Ramana Maharshi says, knowledge or jnana is not for everyone. Knowledge has to be given only to those people who are ready. For people who are not ready, if you give the knowledge for which they are not ready, they will go mad and lose all hope in their life. And he needed hope. I just gave that. Even I cannot assure whether he will meet his son in the next life. Look at the level of realization which Ramana Maharshi had. That's why he was called Bhagavan, which translates to God, literally. Is it not? Adi Shankaracharya is pointing out to the same fact. He's saying people are attached to you as long as your body exists. The minute body is left and the soul and the mind have escaped the body becomes a burden and the body is scary. So that is what life is. So why so be attached to your body, and why so be attached to all the people around who are just attached to your body? They really are not attached to your soul and the mind. They will forget you. They will move on in life. So again Shankara is pointing out that all these things are illusions, and we need to make efforts to get out of the illusion. So until we go to the 7th stanza of Bhaja Govindam, see you guys. Bye-bye.